Hi there, welcome back to A Bus and Beyond. Now in the last video you saw me go with the van across to see Jed at Camper Van Culture to help me fit the rock and roll bed into the back of the crafter. Now interestingly, one of the comments on there was actually about stating that all I'm doing is driving around to different dealerships and I'm not actually doing any of the work myself. I mean, to that I say Right, it's time for a van update because I have been doing lots of work on this. So let's have a look. Right, so it's amazing actually how much there is to do on every single little step. The first thing you can see is the water tank is in. Fitted by me, the water tank is in. And so I've actually also vapor barriered this bit. Each bit, I'm not 100% certain exactly of all the cables that I'm putting in. I've got a meeting with somebody to fully discuss our full electrical needs, which will come in a future video. You'll see all of that, and then I will be comfortable with fully sealing up the rest of the van. I've put cables in all over the place, as you can see, and I think they are exactly the cables that we need, the right size and everything, but I don't want to fully seal up everything until I 100% know that it is the right stuff. So like I say, after that meeting we'll know for sure. But I vapor barriered this portion, vapor barriered all along here, and then when I come to do this top bit there'll be an overlap of the vapor barrier and it'll be sealed in with aluminium tape, so it will be fully vapor barriered. And also on top of that it's battened and then boarded on top of that as well. So in this bit we have not chosen to carpet it like that because it's going to be inside the garage. I am going to seal up the screw heads and everything just so it looks a little bit neater. But even little things like taking the time to silicone down the bottom and trim off the end of the flooring, all that kind of stuff. Everything just takes so much time. Even at the back here I have taped up all the holes with aluminium tape ready to carpet this back portion. Surprising how long. What looks like all I've done is chucked a water tank against the side. It's amazing how long all that stuff takes. You can also see with the water tank I've fitted an inlet in there, so that will be attached to our actual hose inlet, which will be on the back of the cabinet that this is all built in. I've also fitted the water gauge sender. So this is a Weimer sender. It's basically a long tube which has a float in the bottom, and as the water fills up the float goes up and that sends a signal to our gauge to say how much water is inside the tank. But I'm so pleased to get this fitted because I had it in here whilst I was doing stuff in the garage, then I'd have to move it out there whilst I did stuff in here. I've basically just been moving it all over the place and it's finally in. I was just so worried because of the amount of times it was being moved. I was just worried about it getting a hole in the side of it, but it's in. It is just basically screwed in some places to the wall, but that's the only place there. It's actually fixed to the actual metalwork of the van in these portions here. Screw through battens in the floor there, and there'll be a framework on the side which will stop any lateral movement at all. But yeah, it's nice and secure in there. Now, a job that I had been putting off for absolutely ages because I knew it was a terrible job was insulating above the headliner. To do that, it's an absolute mammoth task. You've got to take the B pillars off, you've got to remove the A pillars back, and then you've got to undo all of this stuff all around here and drop it all down to take the headliner out. All this has to come off around the side. It is a big job, and there's some real stubborn clips as well. I had to buy a pair of VW pliers, specific pliers which have got a special nose shape just to get the the fittings out of like the side here and out of where the sun visor comes down. They're basically clips, so they're designed never to work loose, you know, not like screws or bolts or anything like that. They're designed to never work loose because they're designed to never ever come off, and they're just a bit of a nightmare. You can do it with 2 screwdrivers, but it's a bit easier to use the pliers. But those pliers are 60 quid. They're so expensive. So if anyone wants to buy a set of VW pliers, let me know and I'll only charge you 70 quid. But that job is really important because basically all this will be insulated, all the ceiling will be insulated, the side will be insulated, and this is not, behind here, this is not insulated from the factory. So this is your point where the water vapour inside the air, as you're breathing at night time, can touch the metalwork on the inside of here. It condenses, and because it's curved, that water eventually forms and flows down the front, and it even fills up the cup holders. It is that bad. That happens in Grand Californias, so that's not even insulated in the Grand California from factory. So it's really important job to do. It took about half a day, but there's a fantastic guide on the Facebook group, the VW Crafter Facebook group, which I'll link in the description below, and there's tons of information on there as well. So yeah, just follow that step-by-step guide, which was done by a guy called Martin, so it's really, really useful. And yeah, you can follow those steps and achieve it much easier than trying to figure it out yourself. There was only one casualty, and that was the cover for the grab handle. When I was trying to take that off, I was a bit too vigorous and it snapped, so I've got to buy one of those. But there is a part number on the back. Yeah, well, I need to find someone who has damaged their Crafter and get them from a scrapyard. But the funny thing was that it was actually harder to put it all back together than it was to take it apart. Just trying to get everything to line up. These B pillars were an absolute nightmare to get back together, but anyway, job done, thankfully. So the main reason for this video, you saw me in the last video taking the Crafter to have this seat fitted to basically make it, well, it's a 4-seater 3-berth. This is not really wide enough to have 2 people, despite being classed as a double. It's a very small double. You would not even want 2 kids sleeping on that. I'm sure it's not gone unnoticed that Lizzie is
very fat.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. We're expecting another one imminently, you know. They are coming soon. When I say they, I mean he or she. I don't mean there's more than one. But we have obviously, with a double bed at the back there, a single bed here, there is not enough space for another child. So if anyone would like a child, then so we need to find out how we are going to fit 4 beds in this van. And it's not really going to be a surprise, is it? Because you've already clicked on the title and it's written in the title. But let's have a look at the Cabbunk. Right, this is it. It comes in quite a nifty bag actually, and we got sent this from Cabbunk absolutely ages ago when we realised that we were not going to be able to fit both kids and ourselves in this van. They were very kind and said, we have a solution for you. So we've had this for a little while and we've wanted to have a look at it for absolutely ages. We're finally able to show you how this is going to work. But this is a Cabbunk. It comes in this nice holding bag. It's obviously quite tall, but you can just chuck this in the garage of your, well, in the garage of your van, or if you are not going to use it all the time, you can put it in the garage at home as well. So
there's no way that is 2 beds. That's tiny.
it's true, it is. Let's have a look. Ta-da! There we go. Right, you get a couple of poles. These here are your securing poles for the side. This is what holds it all in place. There's loads of different vans that this works on. In fact, even in this instruction manual here, it even shows. It says Fiat Ducato, Ram ProMaster. What is one of them? Mercedes Sprinter, Ford Transit 2015 Plus, Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer, VW Crafter, Vauxhall Movano. Now, and I think that is just what this one, this particular model, this is the Cabbunk Large. I think that's what this is designed to work on. I'm not going to let you have a look at that photo because it spoils the illusion. So yeah, you've got these 2 poles. Let's have a look at these first. You also need to have a look at your van. You'll see one is taller than the other. Not anymore, not magic. But what that is designed for is if you have a step on the side here, but not a step on the other side, if it's lower on that side than that side, you need to adjust these to make sure that they are a matching height when it's all set up. So let's just pop those there for now. That's where they're going to go. And then one on that side. I also need to swivel this seat, so let's just do that. Right, first off, these need to be really far forward, like so. So put them both in the forward position.
Or would you call that the backwards position?
Well, backwards position maybe, yeah. Depends which way you're looking at it. It's like port or starboard, isn't it? It's only port, depending on which way you're looking at it.
That's not how it works.
I think it is, isn't it? You can see how I've basically just lent these against here for now. They don't need to be fully secured. You have a little Velcro tab on the back there. Now that can be stuck. One half of it can be stuck on the back here, but that is not actually structural or anything like that. It's just to hold it in place basically once you actually fit the Cabbunk. But you can see, because this is a step down here, this is lower than that side, but we will adjust that once we actually get the Cabbunk beds in position. Right, and then you get the other part of it. Oh, gutted as well. I bought a Leatherman the other day, which has like scissors and a knife on it. I thought, oh yeah, I'll carry that on me all the time. And I've not got it on me. And that would have been perfect to open this up. I would look like a right pro. Yeah!
All these tools and not one of them can cut that.
They can, but they're just in the garage. I thought it'd be quick to undo it. It definitely would have been quicker to go and get a knife.
Oh God.
1 bit off. 2 bit off. Right. See? Seamless. Then you need to work out which way round this goes. It needs to go over the headrests. So we've got what we've got here. So it looks like it's that way round. Well, there's a bit of a knack to it the first time you do it, but once you've got used to it, it's pretty straightforward. So that bit goes over, along with that bit, which you'll just see when you first ever do it. And then I'll tell you what I do need to do. I need to, this seat is higher than this seat. So I need to So we've got, like, what you have to make sure is that this strap goes over the headrests, which it does on both sides. Ideally make sure your headrests are the same height as well. Then you've got this pole, which is extendable. So put that through that side, and then this one. So that one's through, that pole is through the lower bed and then through the actual aluminium struts, and I'll adjust all that afterwards. And then second one, again, same thing, extendable. Can you get to it? There it is. So through there, and then through that side. Right, so obviously it's a bit floppy at the minute, and then you just need to push the seats back. So in our van, because our sliders are on the front of the actual seat bases, I've got to go outside, which isn't ideal. But basically just push it back into the furthest position. Do the same on the other side. So just undo that screw a bit and then tighten back up. Right, and then it's a case of just making sure everything is adjusted. Check that it's still got that strap over there. And once you've adjusted these bits, that's them set in place. You don't need to do that again. I'm just going to check that this bottom bit is down, secure, which it is. Right. And then there's a few little bits of adjustment that you can do. So this top one's obviously quite taut. In fact, they both are. They're not bad at all, but you can adjust that. It's definitely made a bit harder on our van because all the adjustment for the seat is now, when the seats are swiveled, it's now at the front of the van, but not all are like that. But you can see I can either pull the backrest back and it makes it tighter on the front, or if I bring it in a bit, it makes it a bit slacker on here, but then you can get it tighter on both by moving that seat base back again. Do the same on the other side, and then it gets them probably a bit more even actually. So you can see once it's fully made up, you've got two nice big, they're like camp beds, aren't they? Which is absolutely spot on for kids. They're rated at 70 kilos, which I know it doesn't look it, but I am just slightly over 70 kilos. You've got, yeah, a couple of really awesome beds that kids will absolutely love. What's fantastic is you don't have to build another bed. You don't have to have an over cab bed, a permanent fixture, or anything like that. These are just a temporary fixture, which is great for night time. Plenty big enough for kids. But then what you can see we've got then is, if I then open this up, this is partly why we put this on a slider. We wanted a sliding bed just so that we had that option to be able to move it around. I broke my seatbelt, look. And then look at these dog hairs. But yeah, so then you've got a bed here, a bed here, a bed here, and then we'll have a double bed in the back, which is actually going to be king size.
So that's where Bentley's sleeping here.
So yeah, that's probably Bentley's bed. But at least that means, like, if I don't know, the kids want to take a friend with them, we've got space, or if one of the kids ends up in bed sleeping with Lizzie at the back there, then I can sleep on this bed. Another child can be on there. You know, we've got plenty of options. That's the beauty of this. Kids can't actually bring a friend, can they? Because we've only got 4 seats.
They could arrive at the campsite.
They'd have to make a friend there.
That wants to sleep.
That wants to become such good friends that wants a sleepover that night. Anyway, it might happen. But yeah, so there you have it. That is the Cabbunk. Fits loads of different vans, as you saw, and just gives you that flexibility of having another additional couple of beds without the need for remodeling your camper van. We think this is an absolutely awesome idea. Let us know in the comments below if you've got one of these, or if you're thinking of getting one. And they'll also be linked in the description below, where you can check out the website, buy your own, yeah, and take your kids away camping rather than leaving them at home. Brilliant. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, it really helps us out, and we shall see you in the next video. Cheers.